Good morning. I am Professor Vasanta Kotula, HOD, Community Health Nursing Department, Tribology College of Nursing, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. Today, let us discuss about the community health nursing theory. So coming to the learning objectives, I hope after my class, the students will gain the knowledge regarding the community health nursing and its role, the nursing theory, components of meta-paradigm, domains, purpose of theory, a range of theory, Florence Nightingale theory. You may wonder after seeing this picture, do you know who are all they? They are all the legends, the nursing theorists who guided us in our nursing field. So they are all Calista Roy, Virginia Henderson, Florence Nightingale, Betty Newman, etc. Now, coming to the introduction part of community health nursing. So, what is community? Community is a group of people living in a defined geographical area. So, what is community? Community is a group of people living in a defined geographical area. Community health nursing. Community health nursing is the synthesis of nursing and public health practice applied to promote and protect the health of population. It combines all basic elements of professional clinical nursing with public health and community practice. Community health nursing. The basic elements of community health nursing is incorporated with community health program, and they are all promotion of healthful living, prevention of health problems, treatment of disorder, rehabilitation, evaluation, and research. Community health nursing theory. Our community health nursing theory aims to describe, predict, and explain the phenomena of nursing. It should provide the foundation of nursing practice, help to generate further knowledge, and indicate in which the direction nursing should develop in future. What is theory? A theory is the group of linked ideas intended to explain something. A theory provides a framework for explaining observations. The explanations are based on assumptions. They can be tested to provide support for or challenge the theory. So if you are taking about the theory, it is their own ideas, their own imagination, based upon their own experience, they will frame a framework. And why the nurses, we have to give more importance to the theories. The nursing theory should provide the principles that underpin the practice and help to generate further nursing knowledge. Providing a definition of nursing theory also helps nurses to understand their purpose and role in healthcare setting. So, if you are studying about the nursing theory, you can impart the knowledge in our nursing field so that we can give a healthy full community. You can see the components that is coming under the nursing theory. One is the society or environment, then health, the nursing. There are three main components. One is the society, it is otherwise called as the environment, health, and the nursing. So if you are taking about these three main components, these three main components are interrelated. The society, the health, and the nursing are interrelated, and it is interrelated with the human or the individual, and it is mainly influenced by the basic core called the human or the individual, and these three main components is mainly influenced by the human or individual. And coming to the theoria. So theoria is a Greek word, and the meaning for the theoria is vision. A theory is a conceptual system or the framework intended for some purpose. It composed of interrelated concept, model, and proportions based on assumptions. They provide a framework to develop a new and validate current knowledge. They help to describe and explain and predict to prescribe. Coming to the nursing theory. So here, what is a nursing theory? The theory is an imaginary grouping of knowledge, ideas, and experience that are represented symbolically and seek to eliminate a given phenomena. This definition is mainly said by Watson in the year 1985. And another definition is the nursing theory is defined as a creative and rigorous structuring of ideas that project a tentative, purposeful, and systemic view of phenomena. Now, coming to the domain. What is domain? The view or perspective of a discipline is called as a domain. The view or perspective of a discipline. It contains the subject, central concept, values, beliefs, phenomena of interest, and the central problems of discipline. How does domain related to nursing theory? So far, we have discussed about the nursing theory and also the domain. And now we have to see how these are interrelated. And here, these are mainly interrelated by the person, health, environment, and nursing. So here, the nursing has identified its domain in a paradigm that includes four linkages. One is the person, the client, the health, environment, and the nursing. What are the purpose of nursing theory? It includes nursing practice, generate the knowledge. It helps to describe or explain the nursing. It enables the nurses to know why they are doing what they are doing. Sorry. The theories and the models of community health nursing. So here, if you are taking about these theories, there are some theories that is coming under community health nursing. Under that, the first is the Nightingale theory. That is the thing that we are going to discuss today. Nightingale theory, then Oram self-care model, Newman healthcare system model, Roger model of science and unitary man, Pender's health promotion model, Roy's adaptation model, Melio framework of prevention, Salman White's construct for public health nursing, Block and Johnston ethical theory of population focused nursing, Canadian model. And now move on to Florence Nightingale theory. And this Florence Nightingale theory is otherwise called as the environmental theory. We will see why this Florence Nightingale theory is otherwise called as the environmental theory. If you are taking about this Florence Nightingale theory, this Florence Nightingale, she born on 12th May 1820 and she was the founder of modern nursing, the first nursing theorist, and she is the first nursing theorist also called as a lady with a lamp, and she stated nature alone cures. That's why we are telling Florence Nightingale theory is otherwise called as environmental theory. She mainly focused on the environment. And here, this is a brief introduction about Florence Nightingale. So if you are taking about this Florence Nightingale, she was born in the year 1820 to 1910 and known as the Lady with Lamp. And she was a British nurse, social reformer, and statistician, best known as the founder of modern nursing. Her experience as a nurse during the Crimean War were foundational in her views about sanitation. She established St. Thomas Hospital and the Nightingale Training School for Nurses in 1860. Her effort to reform healthcare greatly influenced the quality of care in the 19th and 20th centuries. From the very young age, Florence Nightingale was active in philanthropy, ministry to the ill and poor people in the village and neighboring her family estate. By the time she was 16 years old, it was clear to her that the nursing was her calling. She believed it to be her divine purpose. When Nightingale approached her parents and told them about her ambitions to become a nurse, they were not pleased. In fact, her parents forbade her to pursue the nursing. When the Nightingale was 17 years old, she refused a marriage proposal from a suitable gentleman named Richard. Okay, a Richard Mountain Milnes. Nightingale explained her a reason for turning him down, saying that while he stimulated her intellectually and romantically, her moral, active nature requires a satisfaction and that would not find it in this life. Nightingale enrolled as a nursing student at the Lutheran Hospital. In the early 1850s, Nightingale returned to London, where she took a nursing job in a Middlesex hospital. Her performance there so impressed her employer that the Nightingale was promoted to superintendent within just a year of being hired. Florence Nightingale and the nursing. Florence Nightingale made it her mission to improve hygienic practice, significantly lowering the death rate at the hospital in the process. The hard work took a toll on her health. That's why we are telling she's mainly focusing on the environment. She wants to improve the hygienic practice. Okay, she wants to improve all the hygienic practices in the hospital setup. Florence Nightingale and the Crimean War. In the year October 1853, the Crimean War broke out. By 1854, no fewer than 18,000 soldiers had been admitted into the military hospitals. The poor reputation of past female nurses has led the War Office to avoid hiring more. Florence Nightingale and Crimean War. In the late 1854, Nightingale received a letter from Secretary of War Sidney Herbert asking her to organize a corps of nurses to tend to the sick and fallen soldiers in the Crimea. Nightingale rose to her calling. She quickly assembled a team of 34 nurses from a variety of religious orders and sailed with them to the Crimea just a few days later. More soldiers were dying from the infectious disease like typhoid and cholera than from injuries incurred in the battle. She procured hundreds of the scrub brushes and asked the least infirm patients to scrub the inside of the hospital from floor to the ceiling. The Nightingale herself spent every waking minute caring for the soldiers. The soldiers, who were both moved and comforted by her endless supply of compassion, took to calling her the lady with the lamp. That's why still now we are telling Florence Nightingale as a lady with the lamp. Others simply call her the angel of Crimea. Her work reduced the hospital's death rate by 2/3. She established a laundry so that the patients would have clean linens. She also instituted a classroom and a library for patients, intellectual stimulation and entertainment. Based on her observations in the Crimea, Nightingale wrote notes on matters affecting the health, efficiency, and hospital administration of the British Army. So this is the first book. So what is the book name called? Matters Affecting the Health, Efficiency, and the Hospital Administration of the British Army. And 830 pages, that is 830 pages report analyzing her experience and proposing the reforms for other military hospitals operating under poor condition. So in that book, she mainly stressed about the hygiene. She left in the summer of 1856 once the Crimean conflict was resolved and returned to her childhood home. Florence Nightingale, death and legacy. In the August 1910, Florence Nightingale fell ill, but seemed to recover and was reportedly in the good spirit. A week later, on the evening of Friday, August 12, 1910, she developed an array of troubling symptoms. She died unexpectedly at 2 p.m. the following day, Saturday, August 13, 1910, at her home in London. She had expressed the desire that her funeral be a quiet and modest affair. Respecting her last wishes, her relatives turned down a national funeral. The Lady with the Lamp was laid to rest in England. And thus, in 1860, if you are taking about her publications, she published Notes on Nursing, what it is not. Her theory significantly influenced three other groups of theory: adaptation theory, need theory, and stress theory. So these theory mainly influence, that is the adaptation theory, need theory, and stress theory. These three theories are influenced by her theory. The Florence Nightingale theory mainly bases the interrelationship of healthy full environment with the nursing. The external influences and the conditions can prevent, suppress, or contribute to the disease or death. So this is the basis of the Florence Nightingale theory. The basis of Florence Nightingale theory is interrelationship of healthy full environment with the nursing. Then theory goal. The nurses help the patients retain their own vitality by meeting their basic needs through the control of the environment. So what is the main goal of Florence Nightingale theory? The main goal of Florence Nightingale theory is the person or the patient, they have to do their own basic needs through the control of the environment. And next one is the nursing focus. So her nursing mainly focused on the control of the environment for the individual, family, and the community. So this is the main concept of the Florence Nightingale theory. So mainly she focused on the basis of interrelationship of the healthy full environment with the nursing. That's why we are telling Florence Nightingale theory as a environmental theory. And her goal is each individual or the patients or the human, they have to do their own basic needs through the control of the environment. And next one, she mainly focused on the nursing, that is the control of the environment for the individual, families, and the community. And here, if you are taking about the Florence Nightingale theory, she mainly focused about the environment and also the health of the houses. How the health of the houses should be. The importance of the health of the houses are being closely related to the presence of pure air, pure water, efficient drainage, cleanliness, and light. Cleanliness outside the house affected the inside. So if the cleanliness is very good outside, it will also reflect the inside in the houses. And here there are mainly 5 major components of healthy full environment. So one is the proper ventilation, then adequate light, sufficient warmth, control of noise, control of effluvia. It is otherwise called as odor. So what are the 5 major components? One is the proper ventilation, adequate light, sufficient warmth, control of noise, and control of effluvia. And coming to the proper ventilation. So you can see the picture here. Here, Florence Nightingale mainly tells that we have to keep the air he or she breathes as pure as the external air without chilling. So here, he or she mainly refers to the patient. Nightingale believed that the person should repeatedly breathe his or her own air would become sick or remain sick. So the no person should repeatedly breathe his or her own air. So that is the proper ventilation. And next one is the adequate light. So what Nightingale mainly focused about the adequate light means, the Florence Nightingale believed that the second to the fresh air is the sick needed the light. She noted that direct sunlight was what patients wanted. So always the direct sunlight is good for the patient. Also, she viewed that a direct sunlight was the patient wanted and acknowledging a lack of scientific rationale for it. She noted that light has quite real and tangible effect upon the human body. That's why she's giving more importance to the light. And sufficient warmth. Nightingale also stressed the importance of room temperature. The patient should not be too warm or too cold. The temperature would be controlled by an appropriate balance between the burning fire and the ventilation from the windows. So here mainly she told that the patient should not be too warm or too cold. And control of effluvia or odor. So what do you mean by effluvia? You can see the picture. Effluvia is nothing but the odor. She was very concerned. She was very concerned about the effluvia and foul odor from the excrement. She also criticized the fumigations, for she believed that the offensive source, not the smell, but must be removed. So she mainly concentrated that the offensive sources or the bad smell must be removed. And control of noise. So what do you mean by control of noise? She stated that the patient should never be waked intentionally or accidentally during the first part of the sleep. She asserted that whispered or long conversations about the patients are thoughtless or cruel. She viewed unnecessarily noise, including the noise from the female dresses, as cruel and irritating to the patients. So here the noise is also plays a important role in the health. So here we should not unnecessarily or intentionally, accidentally, we should not awake the patient during the first part of the sleep, right? Then varieties. She believed that the variety in the environment was a critical aspect of affecting the patient's recovery. She discussed the need for the changes in the color, form, including the bringing the patient's brightly colored flowers or the plants. And what she mainly told about the bed and beddings, you can see here. She told that the dirty carpets and the walls containing the large quantities of organic matter and provided ready source of infection, just as dirty sheets and beds did. Personal cleanliness. What she is telling about the personal cleanliness, she told that need for the personal cleanliness is extended to the patient, the nurse, and the environment. Nightingale viewed the functions of the skin is important, believing that many disorders are caused breaks in the skin. So she mainly told believing that many disease or the disorders are the caused breaks in the skin. Nutrition and taking food. She addressed the variety of food presented to the patients and discussed the importance of variety in the food presented. Chattering hopes and advices. False hope was depressing to the patients. She felt and caused them to worry or become fatigued. So always you should not give the false hope. Okay, you should not give the false hope to the patients. False hope was depressing to the patients and she felt and caused them to worry and become fatigued. She believed that sick persons should hear the good news that would assist them in becoming healthier. Always the patient, they have to hear the good news that will assist them in becoming healthier. Social considerations. So according to Florence Nightingale, she supported the importance of looking beyond the persons to the social environment in which he or she lived. She observed that the generations of the families lived and died in the poverty. And apart from that, she mainly considered about three other types of the environment. One is the physical environment, then psychological environment, and next one is the social environment. What is a physical environment? Consists of physical environment elements where the patient is being treated, affect all other aspects of environment. Cleanliness of environment relates directly to disease prevention and patient mortality. Aspect of the physical environment influence the social and psychological environment of the person. Then coming to the psychological environment, it can be affected by a negative physical environment which then causes stress, requires various activities to keep the mind active. That is manual work, appealing food, a pleasing environment. Involves the communication with the person, about the person and about our other people. Communication should be therapeutic, soothing and hurried. And next one is the social environment. Involves collecting the data about the illness and the disease prevention. Includes the components of physical environment, clean air, clean water, proper drainage. Consists of a person's home or hospital room as well as the total community that affect the patient's specific environment. And here you can see the triangle, that is again the three main components. So far we discussed about the physical environment, psychological environment and social environment. So that is the thing I have mentioned here. So under this physical environment, what are the main components that is coming under this one? One is the cleanliness, ventilation, air, light, noise, water, bedding, drainage, diet. And coming to the psychological environment, so mainly focus on the communication and the advice. And coming to the social environment, mortality data and prevention of the disease condition. And coming to the components or concept of the nursing Nightingale theory. One is the nursing, then environment, then human or the individual, then health or the disease condition. What is nursing? Nursing is different from a medicine, and the goal of nursing is to place the patient in the best possible condition for nature to act. Nursing is the activities that promote the health which occur in any care giving situation. They can be done by anyone. Person. So what she mainly told about the person, Nightingale referred a person as a patient. And person is affected by the environment. That is the patient, they are affected by the environment. A person is the multidimensional, composed of biological, psychological, social and spiritual components. He has a vital reparative power to deal with the disease. That is the person or the patient, they have the vital reparative power to deal with their own disease condition. And recovery is within the person's power as long as the safe environment for recuperation exists. And next one is the health or disease. Health is not only to be well, but maintaining well-being by using the person's power to the fullest extent. Health is maintained by controlling the environmental factors to prevent the disease. Health or the disease are the focus of the nurses who help a person through the healing process. Environment. Poor or the difficult environment leads to poor health and the disease. Environment could be altered to improve the conditions so that the nature laws would allow healing to occur. Then relevance of the theory in nursing practice, education and research. So how you can incorporate the Florence Nightingale theory in our nursing practice and also in education and also in research field. So first one is the nursing practice. So first thing, disease control, sanitation, water treatment, then utilized by the modern architecture in the prevention of sick building syndrome, then applying the principles of ventilation and good lighting, waste disposal, control of room temperature, noise management. Coming to the education part, the principles of nursing training, better practice result from the better education. Skills measurement through listening, the use of the testing methods and case studies. And coming to the research part, use of the graphical representations like the bar pie diagram. Notes on nursing. Application of the nursing Nightingale theory in nursing process. One is the assessment. The following information should be adequate. And in the assessment column, we have to tell about the, you have to assess about the ventilation. That is the adequacy of the ventilation, cleanliness of the environment, then presence of the trap, sudden noises is coming or not. We have to assess amount of the sunlight and the artificial light. Then again, in the assessment part, we have to include about the variety of dietary offering, then order present throughout the ward, method of disposal of human waste and sputum, opportunity to communicate with others, insufficient warmth, company from family and other patient, insufficient knowledge regarding disease. And coming to the diagnosis part, non-stimulating environment is a nursing diagnosis. And coming to the implementation, providing adequate ventilation by opening the doors and the windows. Keep the surroundings environment clean, that is including the linen, bed and utensils. Keep the patients in the warm and comfortable room. Avoid unnecessary noise. Increase the stimulus through the greater exposure to sunlight and fresh air. Provide nutritious diet and encourage for liquid diet frequently. Proper disposal of sputum, human excreta and other waste to remove the odor. Then proper dresses up, maintain the room temperature and wear the warm cloth. Isolate the patient from the children, from other patients, but keep in touch and interaction with the limited visitors. Keep in stimulating environment such as listening to the radio, reading magazines and newspaper. Provide sufficient advice, information about the disease, its prognosis, course of treatment to the patient and family members. The last one is the evaluation. So, if you are taking about the evaluation part, it is mainly based on the observation on the effect of changing the environment on the health of a person, especially focus on the vital signs, adequate knowledge about the disease condition. So thank you. I hope you have enjoyed this class and you have gained the knowledge regarding the community health nursing, the theory part and also the Florence Nightingale theory in detail. So I thank the management and also our principal, Professor Dr. V. Hemavati, for giving this nice opportunity.